You are now listening to the Renegade podcast. And for this current interview, I'm interviewing a YouTuber that goes by the name of LOBO. And he's a bit of a interesting cat that I'm talking to. I spoke to him before. We had a great conversation. Should have recorded that one earlier. But this one, I'm definitely going to record. And the other thing is that he's like a conspiracy YouTuber. He's a truther YouTuber in the truther community, and but he talks about other stuff, NBA, NFL. So we kind of sort of have similar interests. So yeah. So I'm just gonna, go Google Meets in 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Now you tell me I have to join. Nope. So, very interesting indeed.
What's good?
Hey, bro, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. How about yourself?
It's been a busy couple of weeks, last couple of weeks of like first semester and stuff. Like it's my last year at Humber, so a lot of things are kind of coming up on my plate.
I feel you on that. I know what it's like. I've been there before.
So yeah, what you been doing recently? A lot of things have definitely happened.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Right now, it's just been focusing on the football shit so far.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go towards some WWE stuff.
Oh.
Here in the next week or two.
Yeah, that's kind of a gold mine of content. I mean.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
like it's one of the things everybody at some point grew up on or knows at least one wrestler.
Yeah,
no matter what country, generation, everybody know Hulk Hogan or Rock, Cena, etc.
Yeah, you kind of, I don't know what, but I saw a video that kind of sort of went over the kind of like the history of wrestling by this guy named FD Signifier. I don't know if you heard of him, but I probably told you about this guy when I first did the first interview.
Yeah, I've heard of him before.
Yeah, it's a great video actually because he sort of goes over the fact that a lot of like the more popular wrestlers were like black, and yet WWE they never like give that credit, obviously. So it's very, very kind of an interesting story that no one really talks about. I mean, the thing about these type of corporations, it's kind of a byfactor of capitalism is that like capitalism is kind of like it's essentially it's exploitation for profit. So the people that are getting credited, those are the only guys they want to focus on. Everyone else is like, yo, they can go F themselves. Like we don't want to talk about them. We don't want to discuss them, type of thing, right? So
yeah, that's true.
I mean, so a lot of things have happened. Obviously, I when that shooting happened with that CEO, I so wanted to see you talk about it. I don't know if you're going to cook up a video about it, that type of thing.
I'm trying to remember what was I doing when it happened. I don't think I already had something planned that day. I think that's why I didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I saw the video, I was like, so you mean tell me they just managed to catch this motherfucker in broad daylight like that? Like, what? Well, I guess it's night, broad night, like, what the fuck you want to call it, in the middle of downtown New York. And my brother lives in New York, like, down there. He was like, that's, like, close as hell. It's like, ain't no way in hell you got a gun like that down there.
Yo, that's the thing. The one thing I want to sort of kind of push back on, because you didn't do a video on it, but I saw, like, a couple of tweets and a couple of videos. I mean, there's this account named by this guy named Reese Mode. Have you heard of him?
What's his name?
Reese Mode on Twitter.
No, I don't think I heard of him.
Alright, but he's his Twitter account, and he kind of dabbles in the same content that you do, but he just tweets stuff. He never did a video or anything like that. He brought up the fact that this might be like a face-offs, and I honestly, I kind of see where he's coming from, but in the other angle, my logical part of my brain, I'm like, maybe this guy was just pissed off, maybe He's just because it's funny because a lot of his whole it's so funny that we know more about this guy's personal history than most of the guys in power. That's kind of funny.
You talking about the guy that shot him?
Yeah. Luigi.
Yeah, that's how it be with all of these mass shooters and shit. It's like they know random shit. Like in 3rd grade, he was a part of the Zelda N64 club or some shit like that. How can you even find shit like that? Like
that's the thing.
Like, what?
It to me, like, we have to be a truther to realize that, like, they give way too much attention to stuff that doesn't even matter. Like what does him being on Among Us have to do with what he just did? You feel me? Like,
exactly.
It just doesn't make any sense. Like, logically speaking, like, when I looked at it is that I think the very fact that this CEO got shot in broad daylight and no one gave an ounce of a crap about his life kind of told me that, you know what, like, some people are like, they're kind of, I wouldn't say waking up, but they're kind of realizing, like, man, these people really don't care like that about us.
Oh yeah, the comments was roasting the shit out of dude.
Yeah.
Dude that died and stuff, like, because the whole healthcare thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, that's crazy. I mean, was he a fucked up person? Yes, but he don't deserve that.
But at the end of the day, there's this saying that I don't know, but I know you watched this interview by this Richard forgot the guy Fazan Khan. He's like this bodyguard of Richard Pryor and Flip Wilson, and he said something along the lines of like, if you're gonna sleep with the dogs, you're gonna get the fleas, and he got stormed by them at the end.
Yeah, that's true. that's a good ass analogy. That's true.
It's just like if you're gonna sort of have screwed up policies, and you don't I don't know how these people don't expect some type of like retribution. Like, you're not Elon Musk, you're not Jeff Bezos, you're essentially untouchable. Like, somebody is gonna have the means to eliminate you. And and I don't know if this guy was arrogant enough, or he didn't care, or he just didn't check the internet, but like, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, honestly, anybody can get touched no matter how much money you got. It's just, if you got a lot of money, it's just a little bit harder to get touched, but
it's interesting because, like, I look at sort of certain situations, right, that I was in, right, and obviously I'm not the CEO, obviously not. I'm not even getting into that whole mindset of being something like that. But I look at certain situations I was in, and there's certain times where I was in a position that something really bad could have happened to me if I intervened or I said something, but I let things play out, and it kind of saved me at the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the thing is, like, I hope that what happened is that we people kind of realize that we all have similarities. It's just that the people in power, the corporations, the oligarchies, all those dudes, because most of them are dudes, realize that, like, you can divide us all you want, but just know that the powder keg will explode at any moment.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean,
that's why they always keep us ignorant, blind, and all this other shit too.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
Not just the vision, also the ignorance part. That's the biggest part for real.
And that's the thing. I mean, when you are a sort of individual that has a lot of money, right, and you're not really doing anything to help people, you're kind of putting a target on your back. Like, people aren't like I feel like the internet is the worst thing to happen to these sort of oligarchy people, because back in the day, you can pay off a writer or you can pay off a news company to not publish a story. Now you're gonna have to go through 4 or 5 people, and they'll just still publish a story. They'll still do it. right? Because the monetary gain for them is more important than some CEO's feelings about something that actually happened, right? So,
Oh, of course.
I mean, that's why, like, this whole, like, you know, I don't know if you're caught up with, like, the whole, like, woke thing that people keep throwing around. I feel like that is kind of a... Yeah?
Are you talking about, like, how you woke as in, like, aware of the fuck shit going on, or woke as in, like, the way the media uses it?
Yeah, the way media uses it. Because they totally just twisted the whole meaning of that word. Like, don't you notice that, like, woke now is if some person is casted, if a black person or a person of color or a person that's different sexual orientation, they get casted as something that's major, that's woke. Instead of actually woke would be something like Gil Scott-Heron, who was... You listen to Gil Scott-Heron?
I've heard of him.
Alright. So, he was talking about the same exact thing. He was talking about, you know, there isn't any freedom in America. He was talking about systemic racism. He's talking about all those things. That's woke. Because he was actually telling stuff that most people really didn't think about or actually internalize. Now that word means something totally different. I think that's totally intentional. Right?
Oh, yeah, they bastardized the shit out of the word woke.
Yeah, I mean, and now we can't have a genuine conversation now because 4 or 5 different people will have 4 or 5 different opinions about the one same word.
That's why they get your ass too.
Yeah,
I don't run into a lot of people who get into an argument over the meaning of the word woke.
Yeah.
I think what really triggers people is more so what the mainstream media pushes it as.
Yeah.
That's where the shit gets divisive.
It is, and that's all. That's all like. That's all intentional. It's not even about, you know, it's not even about the other stuff too. It's like, it's how certain individuals are treated compared to other individuals. Like, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but like, Snoop Dogg's interview where he grovels an apology for Kendrick Lamar because he said something during the Drake Kendrick beef, and I was listening to that, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Like,
he did what with his apology again?
He essentially is like, oh, he's my brother. He said something along the lines like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't think you guys were actually beefing. And I'm just like, dude, like, there's no need to do that, right? It's the same thing.
Yeah, that's just all PR and politics. That's all behind the backstage politics type shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I heard someone say that Kendrick's the most coddled rapper ever, and I thought about it, and I'm like, honestly, because I used to be a massive fan of him. I don't know if I told you that, but I used to like be a massive fan of him back in the day. And then I sort of, along the lines, I started realizing, I started listening to other music, and I kind of started just disconnecting with them. It felt like he was out of touch. And this whole beef came in, I had to pay attention. But after, no word of a lie, I listened to Euphoria once, and I'm like, you know what? Thank God I got out of this dude, because I don't even know, is this the same guy? Like, I felt like, you know, it's hard to be something that you're not. And I don't know if I can blame him or I can blame the audience or the industry, but it felt like this image of him being like essentially like hip hop's version of like Michael Jordan to me is ludicrous. Even if you think he's that, it's just like, it's like we're essentially just erasing everything that happened before him and after him, right? Why do you think there isn't a new superstar on the level of popularity like a Drake or a Cole or Kendrick? That's intentional.
It's also because the music industry didn't change so much too. Like when J. Cole, Kendrick, and all them came in the game, you actually had to have a real fan base.
Yeah,
you couldn't just do some meme shit on fucking TikTok.
Yeah,
get a quick buzz, quick hit, and all that shit. Because everybody who's done that shit, you just seen they flamed out because they never had a true fan base.
That's fast. But also, the fact of the matter is, like, they'll never allow someone like JPEG Mafia to be on top of the game, or Redville, or Earl Sweatshirt, or Vince Staples. There's a reason why. Because those guys, you can't box them in.
You really do listen to hip hop.
I do. I always love hip hop. So whenever I hear a fan of Kendrick tell me, "Oh, you don't know," I'm like, brother, I've been listening to this thing longer than you have been listening to music. I don't want to hear anything else.
I don't know if he's the most coddled. I'd say before the Kendrick Drake beef, Drake was easily the most coddled rapper of all time. That nigga got so many passes for bullshit. But now I'm trying to think if there anyone now. I'm trying to think, who do they keep giving passes for? I want to say, damn near want to say Lil Wayne.
You know,
it's like they kind of feel bad for Lil Wayne because he didn't get on the Super Bowl because it's in New Orleans and shit. Like, Lil Wayne's damn near a drug addict. Actually, he is a drug addict. Motherfucker can't perform for shit like prime Lil Wayne. So why the fuck would you want to see that at halftime show? On top of that, most of his songs aren't even commercially safe to perform at the Super Bowl because they're just words into a cuss word.
Yeah, that's so. I mean, the other thing I want to add on is, like, you know, there's this theory I've been thinking about recently. And I kind of made this theory up, but I call it Last Man Standing. So that's the name of the theory I came up with. And essentially, it goes along the lines of a lot of the hip-hop's sort of elder statesmen, a lot of hip-hop purists, a lot of hip-hop's sort of, like, you know, wise men, or, like, elders, like Gil Scott-Heron and DMX, and I would argue Nas to a degree, and I would argue someone like Questlove and all those dudes, right? They all got phased out. Don't you notice that?
Yeah, because they need to dumb down music, and
they all got phased out. Right?
It's a young man's sport, too. You can't be like, there's a few exceptions to the rule, but, like, it's just one of those things where, you just viewed as an old nigga. If you were, 29, you're quote-unquote old.
That's a big problem. That's a big problem. And also, the sort of weaponization of social media, sort of psychological warfare type of thing, that Kendrick has been using for his entire career. So I give Kendrick this. He knows how to weaponize certain things in hip-hop. Because to me, like, Kendrick's smart. Alright? I'm not going to say he's a dumbass. But the thing about smart people, just because you're smart doesn't mean you're a good person. We see this all the time, right? And we see this all the time, right? Like, Elon Musk. I know everyone hates Elon Musk. I don't like him either. And I never liked the guy. But the one thing I can't deny, though, is Elon knows how to make controversy elevate his brand. Don't you notice that?
Social engineering, yeah.
Yeah.
Social engineering.
Right? And I would also argue that, you know I'm Muslim, right? Do you follow religion?
I just believe there is a higher power in the universe, but I'm not tied to one specific religion.
Okay. I kind of feel like religion's kind of like, it kind of dabbles in that. Because you read some of the events of some of these books, and it's like, it's happening exactly that way, and you kind of like, that's kind of predictive programming, but no one really brings that up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it's funny you say that, actually, because I was talking to my brother and my parents last night.
Yeah.
My brother's going to that awakening phase. Actually, yeah, that awakening phase. When you first learned that, like, shit been really fucked up and you've been lied to your whole life and you feel with all this anger and shit.
Yeah.
He is in that phase right now. And Christianity got brought up because we was raised in a Christian household and shit. And he just started asking a bunch of questions about, like, just different stories in the Bible that sound crazy as fuck when you actually put thought behind it. Like the Adam and Eve thing. Like, Adam and Eve had 2 kids, Cain and Abel.
Yeah.
And where the fuck wives come from? That's like a really valid question. That is. And you can hear, like, my parents who are in their 70s, or our parents, should I say, you can hear the programming and stuff where they just really don't have a real answer for any of that shit. But my brother, even anything I was asking, and it's just the same faith-based rhetoric with no actual, I guess, backing.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring that up because, like, you go look on, like, hip hop Twitter, and I swear to you, when Kendrick dropped that GNX record, they were all saying the same exact thing. I'm like, what? They all were saying the same exact thing, all parroting the same type of rhetoric and agenda, right? And it's like, I realized that something, man, is someone paying these people? I'm being completely serious here. Like, obviously there's other Twitter accounts you don't get that type of vibe from, but there's some, I'm not going to name names, but there's some that are, like, pretty popular, and you get the feeling, like, man, they don't have an original thought in their mind. Right? So, like, that's insane. So
what were they saying? What was the Twitter bot saying?
They're all saying the same thing. They're all saying that Kendrick's the GOAT, yada yada yada. This record's revolutionary, yada yada yada. No one's close to him. How dare someone challenge him? How dare someone criticize him? This whole idol worship BS. Like, it's to me, because it's funny, because, like, I'm from Pakistan. Like, I went to Pakistan a couple times in my life, right? Because most of my family, they're still there, right? Mm-hmm. And there's this guy that is, like, there's this guy that used to be the prime minister of Pakistan. Now he's in exile in England because he stole a bunch of money. His name is Nawaz Sharif. But the cult of personality that he has over some of the people is crazy. It's insane. And I kind of realized, like, you know, do you remember Rob Ford?
Who?
Rob Ford used to be the mayor of Toronto. He died because of cancer, like, almost a decade back.
I can't say that I do.
All right, so Rob Ford was very, very controversial guy, right? But particularly at the end of his tenure, he was getting hit with scandal. There was pictures of him with drug dealers. Like, he was going into these people's houses and he was taking those drugs. He was selling those drugs. He got hit with so many ethics sort of hearings and stuff. But literally, he almost still won that election. I know, like, John Tory won before he got hit with his own controversy at the end. And I realized, like, controversy is its own currency in a way. It doesn't matter how bad you are. People will be into you no matter what.
Yeah, because it strikes up some type of emotional response. That's why.
Yeah, it does. It's so funny, like, because it's so funny how these same people who love Rob Ford despise someone like Trudeau or Stephen Harper. And I don't like Stephen Harper at all. Like, as a prime minister, like, he was okay. And then the whole Mike Duffy thing happened at the end, and I'm like, yo, just get out of here, man. Like, it's not your time, bro. And it's like, sort of double standards. I've been noticing a lot of people have double standards over people that they like and dislike. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, confirmation bias.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah, confirmation bias. And
yeah, with the Kendrick thing, though, real quick, a lot of it is really, like, hip-hop is basically like WWE, how, like, everyone got their own little favorite wrestler and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's basically the same thing, and you gotta realize it's generational. So, like, one generation grew up like the 90s kids like myself.
Yeah.
We grew up on Biggie and Pac was the GOAT.
Yeah.
The kid generation after that, Lil Wayne was the GOAT. So this younger generation, even though Kendrick been around since I was in high school, they view him as the GOAT. So it's just a generational thing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the next new nigga, and it's gonna be he the GOAT, and this is the best shit.
I don't think it's gonna be a next new anyone. Because the last man theory I was thinking about is, like, look at people like Lucien Garage and Lear Cohen, right? There's nothing about their ethnicity. It's about the position that they have. And the very fact they have that position, right? They're controlling a genre that they frankly do not understand. At least Lear... Huh?
I said, or give a fuck about it.
Yeah, you're right about that. At least Lear could claim that he was there when Run DMC was there, but I don't believe him on that. But they saw a guy like Kendrick, right? Because Lupe Fiasco was in Interscope. A lot of these artists that was in that whole beef was under Interscope. That means Drake, Future, Metro, Ace, like all those dudes were under that guy's management because he owns all these sort of like rappers labels and distribution and shit. Also, PJ Lang is under him as well.
Under UMG or whatever.
Yeah, you have your UMG. And I was thinking about this a lot. And I'm like, why would a label guy like him, who's also facing allegations too, because he was also named in a bunch of these Diddy lawsuits. He was there. He was participating in some of these vile actions, right? Why on earth would he allow this to happen? Just think about it. Why on earth would a guy like Drake and a guy like Kendrick would beef with each other even though they're under the same label, and yet his name was not even uttered during the beef? Kanye was the only guy that said something about Lucien. Don't you find that funny?
There's a couple layers to this.
Huh?
Okay, so just because you're on the same record label don't mean you got to get along. There have been plenty of record labels, whether they're mainstream or non-mainstream, but you might be signed to the same label, but you might hate that nigga that's still on that same label. He your label mate, you got to smile and act like your homies and shit for the music video. You might have features and shit and all this. The whole time you jealous of this nigga, he jealous of you, he waiting for your downfall, trying to take your spot, you trying to sacrifice him and vice versa. So there's that aspect. And Kendrick and what Drake's hate has gone back well over the decade. That shit been documented. So they really don't fuck with each other. On top of that, Leo don't give a fuck because it's like he gonna still make his money regardless.
Yeah.
So if you hate, cool, fuck each other up. I'm still gonna get rich off this shit, motherfucker. he don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He can give a damn if one of them died. He'd make even more money then. So
yeah, the whole death clause and stuff like that. But
yeah, so
it also the one thing I've been noticing is that anyone that was pushing back on Kendrick during the beef, their whole, like, seriously, every day on Twitter, there's someone new that was getting torn down. Whether it was a jewelry guy, or it's Questlove, or Stevie Wonder, or it was Lil Wayne the past couple of weeks, or it's, now it's 50 Cent now, because he said something about, like, to me, that's just absurd. Like, you could have turned on somebody. You don't have to like those artists. But to deny the role that they had, to me, is so ludicrous. You know what I'm saying?
What, like now they roll in the beef or what?
I mean, like, talking about, like you know, because they like 50 Cent said something about Kendrick, about how, like, now he's getting all this recognition because now, like, him and Jay-Z linked up or something like that. Because I know Kendrick and Jay-Z, like, they have a pretty good relationship since Good Kid, Mad City. Right?
I ain't gonna say that. Yeah, it was because of the whole Super Bowl thing and shit. He got basically responsible for Kendrick being there and Lil Wayne not.
Yeah. Honestly, you know what, my opinion on the whole Super Bowl thing is, like, that whole thing's just a distraction. Like, if they were really objective about this, they would have put Charlie XCX there or Billie Eilish. There's someone like that's like new, like someone that would have been interesting. Like, I'm gonna be real, like, I don't really watch halftime shows like that. The last couple of years been pretty good, but, like, unless I'm gonna be real, like, unless, like, he brings someone out that I like, I'm not watching that shit. No way.
The thing about the halftime show, why it played out the way it did, or for one, you gotta remember the Super Bowl, the NFL is the majority white fans.
Yeah.
So you need a Charlie XCX. You need that to draw the man too, besides just Kendrick. Obviously, that's for the black people.
Yeah.
And white people, Kendrick too. Is actually probably more white people like Kendrick than black, just off population alone.
Yeah.
They do. That's a fact. But the thing is, Kendrick got this shit because you got to realize there is politics going on behind the scenes that doesn't really get talked about. How Lil Wayne basically was the sacrificial lamb of this whole beef, where Jay-Z hates Drake. Jay-Z and Drake do not like each other.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know Kendrick and Drake don't like each other.
Yeah.
Jay-Z got beef with Birdman because Jay-Z wanted to sign Lil Wayne years ago.
Yeah.
Especially when Lil Wayne was going through that legal shit with Birdman about that money.
Yeah.
And then Nicki Minaj has issues with Jay-Z as well. And all of these people I just named are all tied to who? Lil Wayne, or they all, should I say, are all tied to Birdman.
Yeah.
And Lil Wayne is obviously cool with Jay-Z, but it's like, sorry, bro. Jay-Z's a petty-ass nigga, so I was like, all right, sorry, bro, I'm going to give it to Drake. Or not Drake, but Kendrick.
Yeah. And it's just... And also, this sort of, like... The act like all these. There's this subreddit on Reddit called Dark Kenny, and essentially it's the worst subreddit of all time. That isn't like a full out like bigoted or racist subreddit, and it's like they literally overanalyze everything this man does. Every single line has like these 3, 4, 5 paragraph posts about how Kendrick is trying to save the kids and trying to save the world. I'm like, bro, like this is so cringe. Like, even when because he used to be my favorite rapper for a while. Even when I was at that stage, I never thought that at all. Like, I just liked the music he made and that's it. I didn't think he was trying to save the world or some shit like that. Like, that's just absurd.
That's when you start worshiping celebrities. You start thinking they superheroes and shit.
Yeah, that to me is so dumb. That to me is just so dumb. Like, and to act like Kendrick don't got skeletons.
Teenagers and shit too, so they still think like a teenager or
Yeah.
younger.
Yeah.
But they still got idols and shit.
Yeah, I know. I mean, and also I started to notice a lot of these YouTube reviewers are also saying the same thing about Kendrick too. So they might be on the payroll, they might be not. I don't know. But the one thing though, why do people act like Kendrick don't got skeletons in his closet that we don't know yet?
Because the attention's been focused on Drake the whole time.
Exactly.
You know what's funny though? You know the one person who's really been quiet? There's like really two people who've been quiet through this whole Diddy Jay-Z saga so far.
What?
Who's been quiet than a motherfucker who's close to Kendrick?
Who?
Dr. Dre.
Oh,
Dr. Dre,
man, I was gonna mention
close.
that.
You remember they had a song, Rick Ross's album. I think it was God Forgives. I don't think they had a song called like Freemason. It was like Dr. Dre, I think it was Dr. Dre, Jay-Z, and Rick Ross.
Yeah.
Rick Ross been quiet. His baby mama been making more noise on social media. But Dr. Dre been quiet than a bitch.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, this is me saying this. Maybe he was like, hey, Kendrick, keep talking shit about Drake, about all the pedo shit and all this other, the fuck shit he doing. So the attention is on Drake and, of course, Diddy. And off of his ass.
That's
He's just behind his place chilling.
See, no one mentions that for some reason. It's weird. It's so funny seeing all these people cry about Jay-Z being named in a lawsuit. Like, I see Ebro crying about it. You see Rosenberg crying about it. I see Charlamagne the God. He's trying to be this neutral guy. I'm like, bro, like, he really hates y'all.
No, they just scared of the nigga. That's all that is. They gotta act like they care. They don't do a fuck.
That, to me, like, a lot of these media conglomerates, they're the new gatekeepers. You really think about it, right? It's not just rappers anymore. It's these media conglomerates because they control who gets put on the radio. They control who gets promoted. They control who gets pushed, really. So it's so funny because, you know, do you listen to Doechii?
You asked me about this before. I know who that is, though.
It's so funny. So some of the tweets about it, like, I like your music a lot, even before she started popping off. But some of the tweets I've been seeing, I'm like, she's having the best year for a female rapper ever. I'm like, you definitely weren't around with Nicki Minaj doing her thing. You weren't around with Missy Elliott or Lil Kim or Rod Digga. Like, you weren't around those folks. You weren't around those folks. Like, it's just, like, I can't even call these people young because these people are full-on adults and they're saying this. So I'm like, come on, man.
That's wild as fuck.
That is.
Yeah. We're in that era where it's like we gotta name something the best of all time or the greatest of all time, even if it ain't.
That to me, that's a big problem because did you watch the Bucks game yesterday? They won the whole NBA Cup.
Hell no, I asked the company over. Hell no, I ain't watching that shit.
I was watching the game and I frankly, like, there's 2-3 minutes I turned it off because the game's already over. I go on Twitter, I go on Reddit, and it's like, these people are so easily deluded. Like, all these tweets about, the Bucks, they're back. They're going to take down the Celtics. I'm like, bro, like, come on, man.
Taking down the Celtics is funny as shit. That's hilarious.
Oh, Giannis, he's been the best player since 2018. I'm like, what?
That's a lie. That's a huge ass goddamn lie.
Like, what? Like you're to me. That's why, like, scripted or not, that's why the NFL will always be king. because we all know who the top dog is. We don't got to argue it. I know some folks trying to think Josh Allen's better than Lamar Jackson or some bullshit like that, but like, we all know who the top dog is. His name is Mahomes. All right, we don't got to argue about that.
He the face, but I wouldn't say he's necessarily the best. He get the most passes for sure. He definitely. Defenders act like they don't see him. Lamar doesn't get that luxury. He really got to juke the shit out of you to do something.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I swear this whole Josh Allen MVP conversation, it's just like, I see all these Bills fans acting like they already won the Super Bowl. I'm like, dude, there's a world you guys get knocked out in the first round. Then what? Who are you going to blame? Sean McDermott? Tyler Bass? Haley Steinfeld? Who are you going to blame? Lamar gets all the blame for stuff that's not even in his control. Like, I'm not even the biggest Lamar guy, but I realize the fact, like, some folks don't want to see him win, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I call it pink privilege. If you're a white quarterback, you can get away with losing and underperforming and shit. They'll make up an excuse in a pass and shit.
Yeah.
But if you black, oh hell no, nigga, you need to go. Is it time to bench him? It's like, nigga, it's 3 games into the season.
It's kind of like Donovan McNabb. He dealt with the same thing. Like, he was making deep playoff runs. He was making conference finals. He made it to the Super Bowl. But the whole time, everybody kept acting like he wasn't that good. It's kind of like Jalen Hurts right now. Like, they're on a 10-game winning streak. But if you were to read the comments of, like, you know, the media and subreddit, like NFL Reddit, and NFL Twitter, you'd be thinking this team's under 500, they're gonna miss the playoffs. Like, that's kind of absurd.
Well, Eagles fans are a different breed.
They are different, for sure. They're different. Like, I mean, are you planning on to watch the Thursday night game against Chargers and Broncos?
Yeah, they got playoff implications for sure.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking about this. Justin Herbert's perception does not match up to what he's actually done. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, Justin Herbert's in a weird situation. So, like, he's basically on a franchise that's never really done right by him. If he had the receivers, the coach was dog shit in Brandon Staley. When you finally get the coach, he ain't got a running game, and he got the worst receiving core in the NFL. So it's like, and he's running for his life. What the fuck is he gonna do?
Yeah, I mean,
been on teams where the defense was bad. He's on a team where the defense is good. They didn't do shit against Tampa, but still, it's like,
you start to kind of realize, like, you start to kind of realize that, like, I was thinking about this recently, like, ever since he's been drafted, right? I started looking up some statistics because I'm a big stats guy and all that stuff. Justin Herbert's second half playoff passer rating and touchdown interception ratio against winning teams is bad, and I was shocked.
Say that again.
His passer rating and his touchdown interception ratio is bad in the second half against winning teams. It's not good. He has a below 500 record against winning teams. He has a near 500 record as a quarterback in general. You want to chalk that up to bad coaching. Okay, fine. But I'm seeing what Bo Nix is doing. I'm seeing what Jaden Daniels is doing. I'm seeing what Baker's been doing past 2 seasons. And I'm like, those people act like those guys are like mountains away from Justin Herbert. When I'll argue that Baker Mayfield has had a better career than Justin Herbert as of right now. And he's been on some very dysfunctional franchises. Like the Browns have been terrible.
Panthers.
Rams
at that little stint too.
Yeah, that too. Now Tampa Bay, I mean, shit. I mean, they might go on a run. Who knows? You know, like, do you think, like, because obviously you believe the NFL scripted. Do you think they might script a Bucks versus Chiefs rematch Super Bowl?
With Baker?
Yeah.
It's funny. They both went to Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Obviously, Baker didn't finish there, but that is funny. I doubt it.
Why not?
I oddly enough wouldn't mind it as long as Casey didn't win. I'd be cool with Baker winning the Super Bowl. But usually Heisman winning quarterbacks or Heisman winning period don't win Super Bowls. So
that's kind of weird though. That's kind of weird though. Like in the NBA, like Anthony Davis won the national championship, then he won the NBA title with the Lakers. You see that situation Jordan won with North Carolina, and then he was like 6 with the Bulls. So it's not that.
The King Elijah won.
Yeah.
It was a Clyde Drexler won with Houston, the college and the NBA team.
Yeah.
Fuck. It was somebody else that did that shit. Recently too. I don't think it was a star player, but somebody did that shit recent too. That won both.
Yeah, I mean, like, I have a question. Why don't you want the Chiefs to win?
Bro, I'm tired of seeing these niggas win all these bullshit ass ways, fucking doinking shit off field. Bullshit. And the Taylor Swift shit, really. I ain't got no problem with Patrick Mahomes or Andy Reid. I actually like Andy Reid as a coach. Fuck Travis Kelce, too, for putting that shit next to him. Other than that, that's what it is. And they started getting away with doing all this dirty shit, too, the same way, like dirty type plays and shit.
Yeah, the Patriots did a lot of
the
those.
way the Patriots used to be doing when they had belly cheek.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, like,
but yeah, they Super Bowl draft coming sooner than the motherfucker. So
I don't know about that.
They not finna win 6, bro. They not finna have him surpass Brady on any of that shit because they just anointed Brady as the GOAT. It'd be dumb as fuck to push someone as the GOAT right after that. They didn't do that shit with Jordan. They tried the whole Kobe with the shit by pushing LeBron, but people are finally waking up to the fuckery that is LeBron. So
oh god,
Mahomes gonna be like the best of his generation, or quote viewed as the best, should I say? But not as the greatest of all time. Hell no. I think he finished with 4 rings and 2 Super Bowl losses, and his last ring gonna come like some years later. So he gonna go out on top.
I don't disagree the reasoning of that. I just think that, like, I'm gonna be real. I'm a Steelers fan. I never told you that. I'm a Steelers fan through and through. I know for a fact we're probably not going to win the Super Bowl in Mahomes' era. We might reach one, but like I'm not confident we'll win. You know what I'm saying? Because as you said, the way NFL works and stuff like that. But who's going to be like?
Y'all capped at 6 anyway. So
huh?
Y'all capped at 6. They need a third team with 6. 666.
Yeah. What's funny about that number is, like, I feel like a lot of the misconceptions of, like, religious figures comes from sort of the text. I mean, like, it's so funny when I see Christians, not even Christians, just people in general, characterize, Lucifer or Satan or whatever. And they're taking all that from a book that's not even canon to the Bible or any Abrahamic book. They're taking stuff from Dante's Inferno, taking stuff from Paradise Lost. Have you read those books or heard of them?
Yeah, I actually had to read Dante's Inferno in college.
Okay. We all know that book is not canon. But people act like it is. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know many people that act like Dante's Inferno is, like, real. I know most people played the game. That's about it.
Yeah, that's nice. But back on to the whole NFL thing. It's funny. I saw a video. This is before the season. This Vikings corner, he died. Rest in peace. He was like a rookie. Kyrie Jackson. Rest in peace. And it's interesting because I thought, the Vikings would probably be like below 500. Sam Darnold's not gonna be that good, and now they're 12-2, and it's like, can they make the Super Bowl? And I'm like, man, maybe that video I just watched has some truth to it.
They really can. I say they the dark horse for real.
Yeah.
To win that because, like, people talking about the LSU connection with Burrow and all that, and that the Bengals go win and New Orleans and shit. People forgot there's a motherfucking receiver who's actually kind of like the best receiver in the NFL right now, who plays for the Vikings, who went to LSU.
Yeah.
His whole family went to LSU.
Yeah.
Shit, the Vikings colors are the same as LSU.
Yeah.
After winning the Super Bowl. The fuck? And on top of that, that'd be a hell of a story. Like, the Sam Darnold shit, the 1-year thing, they could do the Kawhi Leonard shit.
Yeah.
Do that. He get a big contract somewhere, and then he probably don't make the playoffs again.
Yeah.
I could easily see that shit.
That's
the hell of a Cinderella story.
That would be insane. Here's the thing about my feelings about the sort of. I think people are sleeping on the Rams and the Bucks for Super Bowl, like Super Bowl, like the conference finals matchup. I think we almost got that last year, and The Rams didn't beat the Lions, but they almost did. The Buccaneers obviously did destroy the Eagles last year in the wild card. And I don't know, man. A lot of these, I mean, I look at the NFC like the Lions are injured that held them back on defense. The Eagles, I mean, I like the Eagles. I like Jalen Hurts a lot. But again, like, do I trust Nick Sirianni over Sean McVay in a playoff game? I don't know.
I would say the Eagles are the Eagles. That's the best way to put it. They don't look good in the regular season, but hey, guess what? Come playoff time, we'll see how this shit go.
Yeah, that's fast. To me, the Eagles are like the most boom and bust team in the league. They can like get destroyed in the first round, or they could like win the whole thing. I wouldn't be shocked at either. You have the Falcons; they're terrible. Commanders are actually very interesting. I don't know if they'll ever make a rookie make a Super Bowl in the first place, even though Nick Wright tried to convince people that Caleb Williams is going to lead the Bears to the Super Bowl. I heard that. I'm like, bro, I love Caleb, but man, he set that guy up for failure, man.
He said what? Caleb Williams would do what?
He's going to make the Super Bowl. That's what he said. That was the take. And I'm like...
Oh, he just talking. He don't mean that stupid.
Oh, like what? And look, bro, I don't have malice against guys like Nick, but man, sometimes to be saying stuff to say stuff, like I feel like, what's your opinion on Nick Wright? Like, do you think he has connections to the whole thing, or
is he not on Fox Sports?
Yeah, he is.
Has he not been pushing LeBron bullshit for the last like 5 years or so?
It's been more than 5 years.
Exactly. Yeah, he been bought and paid for.
Oh, okay. So you think he went to these ceremonies?
Allegedly.
I can't even imagine that. Like, Nick Wright wearing a damn mask and a cloak robe, like it's Assassin's Creed. I'm like, I can't, like, bro, like,
yeah,
that'd be funny.
You think keep that job down, shit.
That'd be funny. Like, the only way I'll ever go to something like that is there's some baddies in it. That's it. If there's all men, I'm like, yo, do your thing, but I ain't interested, bro.
Yeah, that shit wild as fuck.
It is
Imagine
wild.
like the nigga like who thinks it's gonna be like a party full of bitches and shit there.
Yeah.
And there's like a new artist or something you just signed, like, oh shit, gonna be a lot of hoes and shit, I'm gonna get my dick sucked and then. You get there, it's just like one chick and the rest dudes. Boy, and that one chick turned out to be a tranny. Boom. Plot twist. Boy, you talk about regret. A nigga would regret signing that shit so fast.
I mean, that's why you see a lot more people becoming independent, which should have always been the thing. It's like, sure, it might take you more time, but like you actually have something tangible with you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I mean, it's interesting because like Nick's arguments for LeBron being the GOAT, it sounds a lot like what people were saying about Brady, and then Brady won like 7, and it became very obvious. Right? Like Nick's argument for Mahomes potentially being there is a lot like what people were saying about Jordan when he retired. Like, he had the highest peak ever. He had all these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, I get it. They're both his guys. So he has to, like, pretend to have 2 different arguments. But come on, man. I know he's smarter than that.
Yeah, they can't really talk how they really feel about sports or any of that shit. When they on the networks, they can do that. They get more free with their own podcast, especially if it's on their own platform.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like if you notice, I guess kind of like Shannon Sharp, when he'll talk one way on ESPN for First Take. Yeah. And then on his screen, he'll talk differently about
Yeah.
certain things.
It's kind of
Even
like...
they try to do that, but Stephen A. too fake to even know how to do that. So.
Yeah. Do you think guys like Nick or Shannon, if the NFL was scripted, would they know about it? Because they never bring that up.
Obviously know, because the nigga played in the league and he a Hall of Famer, so he would obviously know.
So why has he said anything? Right?
Because he would burn so many bridges. He would fuck up his pension. He would not have that job at ESPN.
How good is that NFL pension, though?
I'm trying to push his shit on Club Shay Shay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That fucks up money. That's what people don't understand. When people ask, well, if the NFL is rigged, the script, why ain't players spoken out? You know, plenty of players have. You could just YouTube the shit. I mean, fuck. I don't know how many channels who've posted videos of it already. But yeah, man, most people don't speak out because it'll fuck up their money, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. If I was in the same position, I wouldn't say shit.
I mean, it's interesting. Like when you look at certain things, like it's like think about the amount of players that go into a draft, right? And the amount of players that do go undrafted, and a lot of guys don't get picked up. They're on practice squads, and they just disappear. They're doing other stuff, doing other jobs. Would they know? Because I don't know how good the NFL pension is, but I don't. If they're paying guys up to $500,000 a year to not say anything, then I think somebody would have, I don't know, maybe bring that up. You know what I'm saying?
So wait, ask that question again.
So, okay, so how can I reframe this? So, think about the amount of NFL players that go into a draft, and there's a bunch of guys in the 6th or 7th round. They're not going to make a squad usually if they're like really really good. There's guys who are undrafted. Some guys do rise up, but a lot of guys they don't make it. They're on practice squads, and they get released. No one knows who they are. No one knows who they are. Usually, right? And those people don't really say anything, like legitimately. Like those people don't like. I don't know how good the NFL pension is. Like, is it like $500K a year or something like that?
You get paid a good amount.
Okay.
There ain't no skimpy ass bullshit. But no, there's definitely been players, even the ones that you mentioned, like on that practice squad shit. Like Benny Cunningham was talking about how it was scripted. He was a running back. He's playing for Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
I think I might have been in like high school, maybe college actually.
Yeah.
Benny Cunningham playing there, and he was with the Bears for a little stint. He talked about it. Dude for the Saints. I made a video
Saints.
like a dude named he was like Haitian or whatever. He was on Blab Sport. He talked about it. I think his name, I want to say Pierre or something. I can't remember.
Oh, God.
But, yeah, he talked about it. Again, lesser known football player. So, it's even lower level players. And obviously, if you even got to the point to make it to pro day or trial, you know some fuck shit going on to you know what I'm saying, to maneuver your way and navigate your career that way.
Oh, okay.
That's like I've talked to people who have played college sports and stuff, and they mention like, some of them come in not knowing that college football is scripted or whatever, or there's manipulation, until they start noticing little fuck shit that the coaches be doing that don't make sense as far as like coaching decisions.
Yeah.
Play calling. All right, something ain't right about this. And then either another player who's been there a while might put him on game and tell him, hey, if you're trying to make the league, you got to play the game and maneuver. Or they just might learn on their own. And then some that'll probably be like Arch Manning. He got 2 future Hall of Fame quarterbacks as his uncles. He gonna know going into Texas and shit. So,
you know, it's interesting because like there's a lot of draft busts that happen. Obviously,
yeah.
Why would, like, for example, like, I don't know how good the payout is, but if you're like Jamarcus Russell, is it really worth it to like? You have all these millions of dollars, but you whatever you go out, you're known as the biggest bust ever. That can't be a good feeling. I don't care how much money you have. Like, that wouldn't be a good feeling to me.
I want to say he ended up blowing a lot of his money. I think he good now, but he ended up blowing a lot of his money when he was
So obviously he would know about that stuff, but like, you know.
Oh yeah, he mentioned it on the Pivot podcast, like what was going on with the front office and shit. What was it with the Raiders and shit? There's a lot of fuck shit going on. I'm not saying he's 100% exonerated because he still made some bad decisions himself, but he was in a situation where it was a pretty fucked up situation. It's damn near impossible to win that.
Yeah, for sure. So, my thing is this. What do you think 2025 beholds for everyone? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to be the next, you know, big event or big awakening or whatever? Like, we had Cat Williams this year, and look how everything kind of followed after that. What's going to be the next big thing next year?
I think probably just going to see more AI-based shit.
Oh,
That's probably the main thing. off top, more
Yeah.
drones and stuff. But that's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head.
There's this other. I don't know if you've been catching up with the whole virus stuff, but there's this virus going around. It's like affecting all these like sort of farm animals. It's called H5N1, and it's not like it's mild for humans. Obviously, certain people were already affected. They're cooked if they get that. Do you think that might become the next thing? Like not like a pandemic, but kind of like an Ebola situation where like they kind of like fear mongering and stuff.
Wait, ask that again.
So there's this new virus going around, and it's called H5N1. It's like a new variant of bird flu. You must remember bird flu.
That bird flu shit. They were doing that when I was in high school.
Yeah.
That and what's the other one? Swine flu.
Swine flu, yeah. It's just another variant of that, and it's killing a lot of these farm animals. And it's kind of like they said it's in like 105 countries or something like that. I don't know if that's accurate or not. I gotta check that. But I'm like, maybe not next year, but maybe a couple years down the line, like, you know how it is, right?
Oh, yeah, I don't let none of that shit scare me. Different flus and shit, bird flu, swine flu, mad cows. I don't worry about none of that shit. COVID, give a damn about none of that shit. Even if it is real, they just try to hype it up to make it scarier than it is. What was the other one they had? Flesh-eating? Flesh-eating virus or something? Act like it was going to turn niggas into the Walking Dead.
Oh, I remember that.
The monkeypox or whatever. I done seen people who had the monkeypox. That shit fucked their ass up. But, like, shit's like, come on, bro.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. I mean, when there's a supply of sort of dopamine hits, you're gonna supply, and there's gonna be demand of that, and that's how I feel about some of these things. Where like, I feel like I swear I see people make tweets just for people to get angry about. And it's so obvious, yet people still fall for it. Like, I don't know how you fall for stuff like that, but they still do. It doesn't make any sense.
Nah. No, wait, say that again, my bad. Multitasking.
Oh my god. Like, you see certain accounts, like, they make these rage bait tweets and posts. And people get angry at those posts, and it's kind of like they're supplying a dopamine hit to feed a demand that they themselves don't need, but they do it anyways because it feels good.
Yeah, that's called an internet troll.
Yeah,
they get their validation because shit they can't. Let's call it what it is, man. Most internet trolls, I hate using the term incel, but that's the best way to describe them.
Oh my god,
they rocks off on that shit because shit. That's their validation. I got under someone's skin. Now I can make them mad how I low key feel, type shit. Cause shit ain't no. It's not like I can get any bitches. So fuck it. I'm just gonna piss everybody off. Like for real. That's the thing. Like that's how some of these. I'm not talking about the high profile and shit. Some of these mass shootings that actually do happen. 9 times out of 10, I promise you that motherfucker was not getting pussy.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, because you're going to be angry. It's just naturally how it is. You have all this pent-up rage and shit that you ain't let go. Shit, why you think boxers go a long time without having sex? So they got this rage so when they go in to fight.
Oh, yeah, Mike Tyson talked about that.
Mm-hmm. Floyd Mayweather and all that, yeah.
He talked about that.
Make your legs weak if you know.
I mean, there was a school shooting that happened in Wisconsin, and everyone's reaction to it was just like, it was sort of like, it was kind of eerie. Like, people were angry, obviously, but it was like kind of like this, not dismissive, but like very like exhausted type of thing, which I get, but that's crazy.
Damn.
Yeah,
like I said, we didn't have any. Like when I was younger, we didn't really have like school shootings and shit like that. The only major shootings that went on when I was in high school was like Trayvon Martin shit.
Columbine.
Nah, I wasn't. That was before. I might have been in elementary when that shit happened.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, nah. The only thing, at least that happened in my school, was the first week of school. Like my first day of high school, we had a lockdown. I remember I was in art class. We had a lockdown because somebody had a gun.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they ever found the person with the gun or what the fuck happened of it. But it wasn't like no serious shit. We got to get down the duck. We just lock the doors. We still having class. We hanging out shit.
That's...
And then we had that bomb threat later that day.
Oh.
I think we had 2 bomb threats in the first week of school.
That's crazy. That's wild. That's wild.
That used to be a thing back in the day with bomb threats. It wasn't mass shootings.
Yeah. It's interesting, like, because there's this account, this YouTube account, back in the day. I think they're still making videos right now, but this person, again, he was a literal incel. You know, he was making all these videos, like, all women are this, women are that. Just misogynistic trash. Let's just keep it real.
Oh, that red pill shit or something?
It was red
all
pill stuff as well.
Shit, da, da, da.
Yeah. I hate red pill, man. Like, I hate that because, like, they literally misunderstand what the Matrix actually was about. That, to me, pisses me off. But, and then you go on his playlist, that guy's playlist, Sandman's playlist. Bro, I was laughing when I started going through it. Like, he listened to music, right? All of the music he listened to was female artists. And I'm like, how on earth does this even, like, happen? Like, you make all these videos hating on women, and then you go ahead and listen to women? Like, how does that even make any sense? And this guy's like
ratchet female rappers or something?
No. It was like, there was some of that as well. I saw some Nicki Minaj. I saw a lot of Miley Cyrus, which makes no sense. Like, literally makes no sense. But I was kind of shocked. I'm like, oh, whoa, this guy's definitely a grifter. He's doing that.
I mean, just because he might, like, spit red pill or whatever the fuck, don't mean you don't want to listen to music made by a woman. It's just when it comes to actual making a connection with a woman and all that, that's when that shit might really come into play and your views are really skewed. It's one thing, like, if it's music, that's one thing, that's whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah, actual connection, whether it be sexual, emotional, spiritual, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that toxic bullshit come up. Like, man,
yeah.
These hoes ain't shit, man. She just a 304 gold digger. Like, who hurt you, nigga? Who didn't get over it, clearly.
Oh my god. Bro, that's crazy, but here's the thing, right? I think a lot of people in general, what I see from online, or even some of them in real life, I think a lot of people, there's a void they want to fill. And they tried using different versions of trying to fill that void. They used music, didn't really work. They used content creation, didn't really work, right? They weren't getting enough those type of views. They used all the material stuff, didn't really work. So they go into this very extreme kind of like self kind of hatred type of thing. And it works for them until like they actually start doing effed up stuff, and it destroys their life, obviously. But that's what I notice. It's like they want to fill that void, but they don't understand that void was caused by themselves. They think the system's against them. When in this case, the system don't care about you like that. You feel me? That's how I feel about some of these sort of conspiracy channels. Like, they talk about how the system's going after you. Like, bro, they don't care about you like that. If they cared, they will literally go after. They'll literally eliminate you right then and there. You know what I'm saying?
Are they saying system in a more generalized term, like the system after you as in all of us, as in they don't give a fuck, or as in the system is after them, as in just them?
Yeah.
Like they're a target type shit. Which one?
Yeah, talk about the target one.
Oh, like they're the target?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I know from experience, YouTube will do some whole shit to your channel. They be watching. They trust me. YouTube be watching. They'll do some whole ass shit to you. I've gotten strikes for the COVID vaccine 3 years after the video dropped. They vaccine this shit. Do the AI. They like rescan whenever new people take over. It was some bullshit. I had episodes of my show taken down, all type of shit. Got a YouTube strike for some shit from 3 years ago. I didn't even remember saying that shit, but
yeah, that's the same.
But yeah, YouTube do some whole shit, but at the same time, it's not so much to the point they gonna send somebody to knock your ass off.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't give a fuck that goddamn much.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's millions of people who sort of believe what you believe in, right? But they haven't even made the effort to actually fight back. Like, making YouTube videos about stuff is not gonna, like, for you maybe, but like making YouTube videos about stuff is not gonna like affect anything, you know. And I get people don't want to be identified, but at some point you gotta it's
it actually can. It actually can. Here's why. It brings more awareness to people who might not have known about it beforehand. And those people might be privy to do something.
But they usually
so
don't.
Even then, it still had an impact. Because had they not have seen that YouTube video or that Rumble video, they probably never would have thought about challenging the authority or doing any shit. They just would have went with the status quo.
Yeah.
So yeah, it still makes a difference. So,
but why is there like a more unified front? Like I mentioned this to you before, but like there's way too much infighting over the dumbest things ever. Like
that's exactly why. And it's not everybody. It's just certain people that get caught up on certain things. Whatever brought them into it. It could be the people that just got brought in was strictly off the mantra. So everything they see is just numbers and fucking words all the goddamn time. Or if you came in through reptilians, it's like how you got into it. That's your main line, or rig sports or whatever the fuck. That's Some people might think, okay, I know that the NFL is scripted and fake. But then when you tell them some shit that's not about sports, like I don't know if they're like aliens or reptiles, then all of a sudden it's like I don't know about all that. So
yeah, it's just like
it's a melting pot of different perspectives, and pretty much just melting pot of different perspectives.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, this thing is like, there's this thing like, I mean, actions speak louder than words, right? And I'm not saying there should be like this sort of Cuban style revolution, but I'm just saying like, maybe we could see more people protesting, maybe we can see more people trying to fight back. Like to me, because I live up in Canada and politically our system's a mess right now. I mean, Trudeau, like 2 of his top ministers, they resigned like yesterday, and it's just been a whole mess. But the one thing is that if we like most Canadians would all agree on is like he needs to go. Like we don't know if Pierre would be any better than him, but he needs to go. To me, he should have went after NSC Lavalin. NSC Lavalin is like there's like this contracting company for construction, right, in Quebec. He essentially coerced them to go after someone else who wasn't even a construction person. This person was a native person. Right? And this native person was part of his board. Right? And he kind of ruined her life. Because that's all these people think about that person because of that whole thing. And he somehow got away with it. He ended up winning the election by more votes than he won the last time he first got in 2015.
Damn.
Yeah. Like, some of the stuff that guy got away with is crazy. And I understand, like, Harper got away with stuff too. Like the Mike Duffy stuff is like he was like stealing funds from the Senate and he had to resign. That was funny, but it's just, huh?
Yeah, you speaking of politicians that got away with some shit and the people try to act like it ain't happened. I always think of Barack Obama.
Oh, yes.
Black, you can't tell black folks shit about Obama, but I know Obama ain't shit. I can't stand that son of a bitch. Like, people don't even know that he got a gay dude knocked off before his first presidential election. That was his gay lover. He was going to swingers parties when he was governor of Illinois. No one ever talk about that shit.
I mean, like, to me, I don't really care about that stuff. I care about the stuff like him, like, using bombs.
No, it's like he knocked the dude off for that. To prevent a book from coming out exposing him. That's what, but he had a nigga killed for that shit. And on top of that, the pedo shit, because you remember who his DP was? Joe Pedophile Biden.
Oh,
yeah, child sex trafficking. All that's why I take an issue with that shit. They view him as like black people buy his fucking merch with his face on plates and shit, like he this holier than thou ass nigga. It's like, this man out here allegedly trafficking kids and shit, and people knocked off, and y'all looking at him like he a fucking saint. Like, that's the shit that get me.
The thing is like, actually, it's funny enough. FD Singlevire did do a video about Obama, and he said this, that while he was the first black president, he was the president of the United States, which meant that, like, it doesn't really mean anything. He wasn't even the first
black, there were 8 before him, but go on.
But it doesn't really mean anything, because, like, any policy that him or anyone else trying to push, they'll just get shot down in the Senate. Because the GOP... really, like the Senate and the House, they hold all the power, really. That's why you hear more about like someone like Nancy Pelosi than any of our politicians up north. We get more news about her than any of our own politicians, which to me is absurd. Like, that's kind of crazy.
I mean, you right next door to America, so of course you're gonna get a lot of America-based things.
Yeah, but I just, to me, like, you know, you know what? I give you my hot take prediction for next year. Okay, we saw it's hip hop related person. We saw Diddy's downfall. We saw Jay-Z's whole lawsuit. We seen all these other people getting exposed. I think Kendrick Lamar, I think he's done.
I don't think it's gonna be Kendrick. It'd be Dr. Dre before Kendrick, I think.
But however it is, it's Dre or Kendrick.
Actually, no, you know I really think it is?
Who?
Rick Ross.
Oh,
let's
yeah,
go back to Diddy,
that.
Meek Mill, who signed Meek Mill again? Rick Ross. And Rick Ross is real close to Diddy.
Yeah.
They used to be called like the Bugatti Boys or some shit during the Dat Piff. So yeah, Rick Ross, that's the nigga I'll say is next. And then probably Dr. Dre.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, that's, you know, the reason why I say Kendrick is two things. Kendrick is very close to Obama. Don't you find that funny?
There's a lot of rappers close for Obama. Chance the Rapper being another.
Yeah, Kendrick's, like, Obama did an interview with this haircut guy. And he's like, oh, me and Kendrick, like, best. We were like, we know each other for a while. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, okay. I mean, and once I heard that, I'm like, oh. I'm like, you know, I'm thinking about this for a little bit. I'm like, if Kendrick or people beside him were to start, like, sort of shaking the boat or shaking the nest about certain things, like how, like, Diddy had a lawsuit against his liquor company because they had, like, discriminatory, like, practices, and then they sent then that company sent people in, right? And he gets exposed right after that. I wouldn't be shocked. We're seeing the same headlines about Kendrick the same way we're seeing same headlines about Jay and Diddy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think Kendrick gonna go down that fast, especially after the year he's had. Nah, they gonna wait a little minute before they done with him. Like same way Drake, he was in this shit. He been in this shit when he came out 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah, best rapper had 2008. He been around this long. Then 16 years before some shit went down that exposed him, quote unquote, or opened everybody's eyes to the fuck shit he was doing. Even though if you really been paying attention, you know he was on some weird shit years ago.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
His fanboys was like, no, Drake's the best, man. He wouldn't do that. He's this, that, and the third. I'm like, I keep believing that shit.
And that's how I feel about the Kendrick fans too. They say the same exact thing. But one thing I'll say this though, I have never seen a Drake or a Kanye fan act like that guy is like Jesus, like Black Jesus. I have never.
You've never met a Kanye fan that thinks that?
I mean, I should say that. I
should that shit.
I should say that. But the amount of times I've seen Kendrick fans act like he's that, I have been a Kanye fan long enough because I've been a Ye fan since like 2016. But
you didn't get the good Kanye.
Yeah, I was young. Like I knew Stronger when I was a kid. I loved that song. But
you poor soul.
To me, like, there's just too many things about him. Like, don't you notice, like, some of his collaborators from Section 80, they all, like, Lori, I forgot her name, but there's a Lori
chick.
She
died.
Yeah, she died.
Jumped off water tower or something.
Yeah.
Shit. They sacrificed her.
I don't know about
no, it wasn't just Kendrick. It was Kendrick, Absol, and Schoolboy Q.
What?
Yeah. Kendrick, Absol, and Schoolboy Q were the three behind getting a Lori Joe sacrifice. Allegedly, of course. When they first all got on with TV and shit.
You know, it's interesting.
Really
I want
that push.
I want to kind of, I don't know how to like push back on. I wouldn't say she was sacrificed. I just think what happened was is that they exploited her and she wanted to get away from that, which means that's kind of like a sacrifice, kind of, but not like they paid someone to get her away, which might have happened also. I don't know. But
yeah, it's a sacrifice. Yeah.
But man, this is guy that was on one of his albums. He was on this song. He sang the hook of Ronald Reagan era. I don't know. Forgot the guy's name. Ash. It starts with Ash or something.
Ash Rising.
Yeah. This to me is so interesting. No one talks about this. He dies a year before Mr. Morale comes out, which was like he died in May of 2021, and Morale comes out in May 2022, or something like that. And one of the tweets before he died, it was 2020, because he didn't tweet a lot, but he tweeted this. He said something along the lines of like, "I have been paid. The people, the people in charge of TDE or whatever didn't pay me for the stuff I did on Section 80."
That sounds about right.
And then next thing you know, a year later, and he's gone, and we don't know what happened to him. I don't want to speculate or anything like that, but that's kind of like, well, what happened here?
I actually heard that Ash Rising died. Honestly, I didn't know. I had never heard a single song by just Ash Rising in my life. But I do know who that is.
Yeah, that was like, I'm not saying that they killed him or anything, but I'm just saying that's kind of like suspicious as hell. Like the fact no one has looked into that, it's kind of interesting.
Cause then it's like they really was like, oh, we ain't gonna pay. Oh, shit, we just knock you off. We really ain't gonna pay your ass. Okay.
I mean, that's what Diddy did. Like a lot of his own artists didn't get paid by him. They had to go do it.
That's how 360 works. That's what people don't understand. It's still a business. Like they find all type of bullshit loopholes on how they gotta recoup. Even if you generated enough money to actually make a recoup for yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, but no, remember that trip we went out on the beach with the fucking yacht and we had the lobster and the scallops and all that other shit? Yeah, that's not your budget too. Yeah, you remember that other time we was in a helicopter and we went, yeah, that's not your budget too. It's like they'll do little shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like they know it's basically damn near impossible.
It is.
Fucking.
And then it's interesting because when Nipsey died, I remember I was asleep during that time. Meaning, like I was sleeping, and I wake up and Nipsey dies. And I swear, anytime I go into deep sleep, some wild stuff like that happens. Like I don't know if that happens to you or whatever, but like,
Kobe probably.
Yeah.
I woke up to that one. It was like someone said R.P. Kobe. I'm like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? Then I look on Twitter. It's like Kobe Bryant died from a helicopter crash. I had to reread it. It was like, ain't no way I saw it. I just saw it. It's got to be fake, bro. This ain't real, bro. What? This is one of them fake tweets like LeBron James retiring in NBA stuff. Nah, let me see. It was like, oh shit. Check Wikipedia. Oh shit, that nigga dead too. Shit.
Yeah, I mean,
this nigga quote unquote dead. I was like, dang.
Yeah, I mean, so and then because it's interesting because a lot of people are saying like some people were kind of conspiracy people were theorizing like maybe Diddy had something to do with it, which makes sense, right?
With what? Kobe's death?
Not Kobe, Nipsey's.
No, it's Jay-Z, not Diddy.
I'm gonna be real. I think Kendrick might have part in play to that, like, because Nipsey and Kendrick were like best friends before they even blew up. Nipsey did a song with Dre.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
Huh?
I don't think I've ever heard that Kendrick and Nipsey was best friends.
But they were friends. They were in the same realm.
I've never heard it.
Okay, fine. They were acquaintances, but they were cool with each other in the sense of like Kendrick was on Nipsey's song a year before he died. 2018 record. I love that record that Nipsey did. I love that song before I woke up before I stopped liking Kendrick's music entirely. But again, like he might have, because you gotta realize like Nipsey, like he was kind of like one of the last street guys in Compton, and just California in general on the West Coast that would maybe hold Kendrick accountable. Like he was kind of like the voice for the streets. that couldn't immediately be dismissed as like some guy who had like a bad discography or a guy who isn't like at least a legend in his own right. And next thing you know, he dies. And next thing you know, like Kendrick is kind of like Alonzo Harris of hip hop. You know, like watch Training Day or.
Yeah, I'm trying to think before you say the only street dude who could tell Kendrick what's up. I don't know about that, man. That California rap scene is different, but I can't say that. Because there's like so many different OG rappers and shit from the West Coast.
Yeah.
Like, I highly doubt Nipsey. I know Nipsey ain't the only motherfucker. Problem's another one. Like, there's other niggas in LA and shit now.
Yeah, but he was one of the few people that, like, even, like, non-rap fans would, like, know who he is. Like, without knowing all the other subtext stuff, but, like, and supposedly there was rumors that Kendrick was going to drop a record in 2019 before he scrapped it. For some reason.
I think he was going through that label shit. That's
yeah.
We trying to get his deal.
Yeah, and again, that's kind of, again, like... But again, no one really... I mean, even Gil Scott-Heron. I mean, he dies in 2011. He dies in May, or something like that. And then, so you know, 2 months later, Kendrick dropped Section 80, and one of his biggest songs... there's one... But back in the day when I listened to him, one of his best songs ever was Poor Man's Dreams. He sampled, like, the beginning of, like, Peace Be Your Brother off of Winter in America. Gil Scott-Heron did back in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you know, that dude, and it's just certain things, like, I'm not saying that he's putting out hits on people. I'm just saying that, like, people aren't, those, like, all I'm saying is, like, people are not keeping the same energy. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll say another thing about Kendrick was he got crowned by Game, Dr. Dre,
Yeah.
Snoop the King of the West Coast back in like 2011.
Yeah.
Or so.
That's kind of suspicious, too.
Because you're backed by three of the biggest, I guess at the time, three of the biggest West Coast rappers in history. Yeah, that's a lot of juice. Yeah.
That is...
And those all gang affiliated niggas besides Dr. Dre? Yeah. Yeah. And Kendrick himself has gang affiliation? Yeah. Good
I
luck.
mean, there's rumors that, like, I don't know, one of his people that he knows, this person supposedly released a video that he claims he's close to Kendrick. That says Kendrick has gang ties in Compton and in Chicago.
Yeah.
In Chicago,
Yeah,
and I'm like, you know, the amount of violence that's going on in Chicago, like a Lil Durk and King Von. Like, is it possible that he might be involved in this? Like, he might want to get rid of some of these guys? I'm not saying he did it. I'm just saying, like, you know, possible.
Why are you saying that? Wait, why are you saying that? Wait, say it again.
Like, cause there's one in that video, one of Kendrick's supposed close friends said, like, he had gang connections in Compton and Chicago. Right? Lupe supposedly has gang connections in Chicago as well. Kanye has the whole gang, the whole God Disciple stuff that he literally was repping during Donda. That whole thing he had in Chicago. Concert that he held in the Chicago Bears Stadium back in 2021.
I mean, for one, you gotta remember the gang's still Freemasonic organizations, whether the members themselves know or not, which most obviously don't, but there's that, especially GDs.
Yeah, GD,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, man, there's a lot. You'd be amazed. Wiz Khalifa got Crip affiliations and shit. Like, every nigga that was signed to, whatchamacallit, if I remember correctly, if they had a gang affiliation, they were Crip.
Yeah.
Like Chevy Woods was a Crip.
Yep.
Homeboy that died, Jimmy Wapo, was a Crip.
Yep.
Yeah, so, yeah, it'd be like that. Yeah, especially in LA, too. Like, your family members are probably blood or a Crip, so.
Yeah.
Trickle down, gonna get to you.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. I mean, it's interesting how, like, it's very interesting how the game's career has kind of, like, dissipated.
That's his own goddamn fault. He doing all this weird ass shit. Let's see. He coughed out getting an underage girl pregnant.
Oh, gosh.
Dude. talking about he's a male stripper when he was younger. He just a clown ass nigga, bro. It's a shame because dude can rap his ass off. He was one of my favorite rappers in high school. Like, I used to bump the fuck out of the Game's albums, like Doctor's Advocate, Red Up, all that shit.
I mean, I would argue. I would even argue like. I would even argue Drillmatic in 2022 was a great rap record. It just was overshadowed by, again, Kendrick Lamar. He loves doing that for some reason. Like, and he dissed Eminem. Like, really, dude? Like,
that was weird because it was like, y'all both cool with Dr. Dre shit. What are you doing, Game? Like, yeah, that's what I don't get about Game. Didn't he diss Rick Ross and him and Rick were supposed to be cool at one point? Like, what's this nigga doing, bro? I just get, he basically just a fake ass nigga. It was jealous. That's basically what I summed it up to.
And I kind of get his
anything for clout.
Yeah, it's sad. Like, it's like, I know hip hop's like WWE at this point, but like, there's a world where like the game or Lupe Fiasco is like the Kendrick of their time, and they just didn't get that shine because the labels didn't want them to do it. Like, I mean, Lupe, I swear there was a picture I saw of Kendrick back in 2017 that he dressed exactly like Lupe Fiasco. Like, he had the whole like sort of martial arts style vibe. This was back during Damn.
Kung Fu Kenny?
Yes. Kung Fu Kenny, yes.
But yeah, basically, Kendrick Lamar is this generation's Lupe. That's really what it is. It's not Lupe's his Kendrick. No. Lupe a rap superstar, Kendrick ass, bro.
Like,
ain't even fucking close.
I think it's so interesting, like, because Lupe dropped Lasers back in 2011, and Section 80 came up at the same time as well. And ever since that moment, like, Kendrick kind of like, Lupe was just thrown to the side. He goes independent, and by the time he drops another record, like an actual album, Kendrick drops Pimp Butterfly, who I think a lot of Pimp Butterfly was kind of stolen by Syed, he kind of stole a lot of like Syed the Prince's Black History project, especially the 2014 one.
Mm-hmm.
You listen to Syed Prince?
But Lupe's thing was why he fell to the wayside, quote unquote, is because he saw how much money he wasn't making after Lasers was such a smash fucking hit as a success, because that was the mainstream shit that put him, like, Lupe was obviously there from Kick Push, but that shit really sent his ass. Like, that's what really got me listening to Lupe for real. Like, I knew who he was.
Yeah.
But when I heard the show goes on, I saw it on like MTV back when they were showing music. I was like, who the fuck is like, that's Lupe? What? And I just listened to the whole album. I was like, and I just bumped all his old shit, his mixtapes, his freestyles, all that shit. Like, Lupe is in my top, really now I think about it, my top 5 of favorite rappers without even realizing it. And he realized how much money he wasn't making being signed, I think it was Atlantic.
Yeah.
And he started tanking. Like how basketball and football teams tank on purpose. He did that with his album, just dropping shit to get off of his label.
Yeah.
To go independent. And that's when his music got better.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's so funny too, like anytime Lupe says something about Kendrick, you get all these tweets, all Lupe's jealous, all Lupe could have been this. I'm like, dude, I don't think he wants to be.
Lupe was Kendrick, or Kendrick is the new Lupe, like the fuck. And Lupe will rap circles around that punk ass nigga. Like, it's not even close. It's not even close.
I would like, look, you must have because I remember you told me like Tory Lanez was he got thrown in jail because of the whole Rock Nation thing, and now I'm like, you might be right, like, because you saw Meg Thee Stallion or one of her representatives or whatever, like they wanted a restraining order on Tory, which didn't make any sense. Like, Tory's in jail.
Tory's 5'2".
Yeah,
you really should need a restraining order from a nigga 5'2".
That goes without saying. But there's a feature that I heard that he did on DDG. Do you know what that is?
Oh yeah, the YouTuber turned rapper. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was going in on the whole Drake beef, and it's so funny. It's like all these research popping up. Tory can't compete with Kendrick. He didn't want the smoke from JID and Dax. I'm like, come on, man.
Dax corny as fuck, bro. I don't know what Dax got, bro. I don't even know. Bring that nigga up.
Nah, that was a weird era, bro. It's so funny. Like,
music video ideas, but that's really about it.
His best song, though, I'll say this. His best song is that Tory does. His best song is that. It's just most of his other music is just too vapid. He's like a bad marriage of like Logic and Hobson and a bit of Tyler the Creator when he was like edgy and stuff. All mixed to one, and it does not sound good whatsoever.
You being too nice even with that Tyler shit, but I do agree with the first two for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny too. Like, it's like Hobson said something about Kendrick a little while back, and everybody jumped on him as well. Like, it's just, if you can't criticize, like, no one's above criticism. We can all agree on that, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So if you can't criticize someone, then that's a big problem, right? That's why a lot of rap discourse sounds like they talk about the same 5 to 10 artists, because that's all they listen to. That's all they, quote unquote, abide by.
That's all they've really been pushed. That's
yeah.
why.
I mean, I look at Redville, for example. Do you know what that is?
Who?
Redville.
Nah.
Alright, so he's like this underground rapper, and he kind of blew up because Tyler I think Earl Sweatshirt retweeted one of his songs back in 2020 during the pandemic. And then next thing you know, he's on JPEG Mafia's music, and he was on the JPEG Mafia Danny Brown album back last year. He's really, really good. And I realized, and I quickly realized that there's a reason why he ain't at the top. It's so funny because I brought this up on Hip Hop Heads, and a lot of people just went after me. He said, "Oh, you have to want it. Oh, these people, why you want to accept mediocrity?" I'm like, what?
You gotta want it. Yeah, you gotta want a dick in your mouth.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. It's just like, it's like these. And I get it. Like, in the sense of just like, you know, there's certain people who shoot themselves in the foot. But if you're not gonna get pushed, you're not gonna get pushed. I mean, you can go on social media all you want, but like, if people don't see you, then they don't see you, and that's kind of unfortunate.
I mean, yes and no. You can, with social media, you have more control than you think. It's just there's a certain level, a certain ceiling you gonna get to.
Yeah.
Unless you do some crazy viral shit and then you break through, and that shit gonna be probably be short lived. Because the big surge of people that found you and fuck with you don't really fuck with you. They only fuck with the shit they came across that was the mainstream shit. And then take time to go through the old shit.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, there's a saying, like, a lot of people's first impressions of someone is often their last impression with that person.
Yeah, that's true.
And they don't change their minds. I mean, I'll give you an example. There's this trailer that came out about this movie called Electric Slate. It stars Millie Bobby Brown, Chris Pratt, Giancarlo Esposito, all the big guys, right?
I know what you're talking about.
And it's based off a very interesting book. I remember reading it back in the day when it came out, and I really liked it. And I didn't think it was suitable for a movie, but whatever, I guess. You know, Netflix couldn't be doing their Netflix things as always, but one thing that all the trailers post I've been seeing, especially on Reddit, they all trash on Millie because she supposedly can't act, but whatever stuff Ana de Armas is in, do you know what that is?
Who?
Ana de Armas.
Yeah, is that the one who played Wednesday or some shit?
No. She was a Bond girl in No Time to Die.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on that one.
It's idol worshipping and she's honest terrible. Like, bro, she got an Oscar nomination off a movie that was like 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't even know if that was even possible. And I'm like, and then I get it.
Must give some good ass head.
Huh?
So she must give some good ass head.
You know, it's like, it's just, to me, it's like, I shouldn't expect much from the internet in general, like, because the internet, like, it's like its own kind of monster that can't be tamed, can't be controlled. So, so that's kind of sad. I mean, but one of the last questions I want to ask is, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? What's your Super Bowl matchup? Who's going to be Super Bowl MVP?
I got Packers over the Chiefs. MVP being Jordan Love. Dark horse would be the Vikings. OKC. Super Bowl MVP, I'm gonna say Justin Jefferson for the whole NOLA.
That'd be cool. Why the Packers though? Like, they're not really good against winning teams. Like, I know they beat the Seahawks, but like Gino was hurt and stuff. Like, why Packers? Is it because of Peter Schrader's prediction?
No, I don't even know what the fuck that is. But no one is talking about it. This thing, if they are talking a lot about a team, Detroit. I know them niggas ain't finna win shit. But there's so many people like, man, Lions finna win this shit, man. Lions, like, dumbass. They had a good ass year last year, and they still generated the 29th out of the 32 teams. It was like ranked 29th in revenue. Buffalo was like 28th. That's why I say them teams ain't gonna win because it won't turn a profit for real. No one's buying Lions gear like that. No one's buying Josh Allen jerseys like that. That's all false perception. You see, obviously, KC shit because the Kelsey, the Swift. You gonna see Mahomes and shit. That makes sense, even though they're 18th on the list. They're gonna be climbing higher. But nobody is fucking with Detroit like that. Green Bay, the only one who can sell a jersey on Green Bay is obviously gonna be Jordan Love.
Yeah, I guess. Do you think Jordan Love would be like a superstar, like Aaron Rodgers? Do you think he'd be like a Kirk Cousins type of guy?
What have the last two Packers quarterbacks done? There's only been two before him.
Oh, like
they
one
both won
Super
Super Bowl. They both been the Hall of Fame. Aaron Rodgers gonna be a Hall of Famer, Brett Favre a Hall of Famer, and ironically, both of them are pieces of shit. But yeah, the Packers always have a good quarterback, or at least try to say since Brett. They always, because they're a homegrown type of team.
Yeah.
Because you can't lure anybody to Green Bay. What the fuck you gonna do in Green Bay?
They lured like Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney, but that's rare. You're right.
Yeah, that's about it. But everybody else is homegrown. Like all them receivers on rookie contracts and shit. Like,
yeah,
there's not a hotbed to go for free agency. Like Devontae Adams left.
Yeah.
To go to shittier teams.
Still can't believe he did that.
That's his choice. I don't feel bad.
I have a question. So, out of the overall like NFL players of all time, is saying Mahomes a top 10 NFL player of all time overall? Is that like a crazy take or?
That's crazy as fuck. I probably wouldn't even put a quarterback in the top 10.
Why not?
Because they don't tackle enough.
Oh my god.
I'd say number one is Lawrence Taylor because, man, to play Coke Daddy of mine and not have a heart attack in the NFL is impressive as fuck.
Yeah, it is.
And they planned for him. It's like they game plan, all right, motherfucker, watch out for him.
Yeah.
Fuck the rest of the defense. That dude right there, that's impressive as fuck.
Yeah, it is.
I say he's the greatest of all time. Then you could throw us maybe some running backs.
What about Jerry Rice?
Jerry Rice. It's hard not. You got to put a couple receivers in there, like Megatron, Randy Moss, niggas like that.
I can't put Megatron in the top. Like physically, yeah.
What do you mean?
I can't in good conscience say that. Only just because like he didn't play long enough, and also, I mean, I can't blame him for this.
He didn't want to get his body beat the fuck up more. He played in Detroit, same shit Barry Sanders did. That's the top 10 player.
Yeah, Barry. Yeah,
he was I'm tired of just not having help for real. Well, he had Matt Stafford, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Wow.
And it was a contract issue too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he was asking for compensation. They said no.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I was like, man, fuck y'all niggas too.
Who y'all winning the NBA championship for real? Because I don't even know. Like, Celtics probably back in the finals, but I don't even know about that.
Oh shit, I said Boston. That's right. I said Boston last summer. Yeah, or this past summer. It's Boston. Yeah.
Do you think there'll be a new dynasty? Do you think the quote unquote script writers are gonna cook up Jason Tatum?
I don't think we're gonna see a dynasty for a while. You gotta space dynasties out. Like in the NFL, you can kind of put them close together, but even then, there's like when they go on that drought, the Chiefs that is, that's when it's gonna be no dynasty. Kind of like when the Patriots were on that drought, it was no dynasty for a while.
So
because it was what? Who won in that drought? It was the
Tatum
Seahawks,
twice.
the Broncos, the Ravens, all type of teams win this shit.
So you think like Lamar, Burrow, Allen are all going to have Super Bowls for essentially?
Lamar, no. Burrow, as long as he's in Cincinnati, hell no.
Allen?
Allen, the Bills, no. He'll have individual awards.
Then who? You think Baker might get one? Like Eli? Like,
You know what? I can see him getting one, believe it or not.
yeah, I can see that.
Because I still think of that one commercial where Brady gave that man his rings. And ironically, he took the starting job right after Brady.
Yeah, that's interesting. That is interesting.
And because they've been marketing the hell out of Baker since he got in the league. He was in all the progressive commercials. As a
Yeah, I
rookie.
saw that.
Yeah. So I said he could win one. Again, the Darnold only this year do I think Sam Darnold could win one. On some Cinderella shit, and because Kyrie Jackson died. And that could be like the tribute to him. Like, this for you type shit.
Oh my god.
You know, it'd be crazy now I think about it. What if Minnesota won the Super Bowl and Oregon won the national championship? Because Kyrie went to Oregon.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's interesting. But so you're essentially saying like the way it would go is like if teams were to win this year, then it'll be like some sort of like Baker might get one, then maybe Darnold, then maybe Herbert, then maybe some random ass quarterbacks like Caleb or Jaden might get one. I don't know. Bo Nix might get one.
Okay, let's go back. You said Herbert? Fuck no, he played for the LA Clipper football team.
Oh,
Caleb Williams is in Chicago, not a chance in hell. No.
What with Jaden?
What was the other one you said?
Jaden.
I can see him fucking around getting one at some point. Maybe it's a stretch, but maybe Bo Nix somewhere down the line. Maybe.
How about Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts? Nah. Usually, if you lose Super Bowl, you don't go back and win.
Yeah, that's fast.
But nah, and he already got his money too. So.
What with Brock? Is this Cinderella run over? Or?
Oh yeah, that window closed last year. That was San Francisco's best chance to win that shit.
Yeah. Wow. So I was thinking of another team. Does Stafford get another one?
Nah, I don't see it. But when you factor in the whole Missouri thing with the Rams leaving early,
yeah,
it ain't the craziest shit. I don't believe it's gonna happen, but it ain't the craziest shit.
I mean, we're getting into like
the Rams and Chiefs have been in the last 6 Super Bowls.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
What, Rams and Chiefs?
Yeah, I would see that. Just cause
they robbed us of that shit the year they had the little shootout.
That would be amazing.
What did we end up getting? The fucking was that the year it was the fucking Patriots and the Rams and that bullshit Super Bowl? I think it was.
It was.
Or it might have been I think it might have been the year after that.
No, it was Patriots versus Rams.
Chiefs and the Niners when the Chiefs had that shootout game with the Rams that same year.
I think that was the 2018 season. Oh, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, but yeah, we got robbed of that shit. They gave us that bullshit. That's Patriots, Rams bullshit. Fuck that game.
We're getting into like Carolina, Saints territory, Falcons territory. I don't think those teams ain't gonna do anything. So,
oh hell no. 2 of those are predominantly black cities. That's damn sure not finna happen. Yeah.
Who else? I'm looking at.
I'm trying to see. What teams? Let's see. Jets, no. Dolphins, no.
No.
Patriots already maxed out.
Yeah.
In the AFC North, the Steelers are maxed out. Ravens, I don't think so with Lamar. Bengals, they already went. They hit their ceiling. They generate the least amount of money in the NFL. Generate the least amount of revenue in the NFL as it is.
Yeah.
So they damn straight stay for shit.
Browns definitely ain't doing nothing.
Let's see.
Browns.
I say in the AFC West, the Broncos have a chance. We already talked about KC, the Raiders. Hell no.
You're done.
And then NFC West, let's see. Yeah, really the only teams I can see is like the Rams. I don't think the Seahawks win another one. Or at least anytime soon.
Um,
Cardinals, hell no.
nah.
Niners window is closed.
Yeah, that's closed for now at least. I mean, look at like Texas division. Do you see CJ getting one?
Oh, I don't know. I know he didn't win the Heisman, he didn't win the Natty, so that'd be a good shot. I don't know how they would do with. I don't know if they would give the Texans a Super Bowl though.
Colts are doing it.
Did what?
The Colts, they're definitely not winning a Super Bowl anytime soon. They just have too flawed of a roster. I mean, their receivers aren't that good, and the quarterback. I like Anthony Richardson.
He too green. He next. He needs a lot more reps. He's a project.
Yeah, he's a project. So that's gonna take a while. Titans, they had their chance. Like in 2021, I genuinely thought they could have won the Super Bowl. I don't know what the hell happened in that divisional game. Like Ryan Tannehill wasn't having a good season or anything, but like that dude, like he fell off a cliff after that game.
I think the Titans are definitely gonna be better though. But as closer it comes to them getting that new stadium, when that shit almost done, Titans gonna be a better football team. I promise you that.
Yeah.
Will Levis won't be the quarterback though.
Yeah, probably someone else. Who else? Jags. They're definitely ain't getting it. They don't.
Fucking Jags. They're such a shit show. They are so fucking bad, bro. Like, oh Lord, there's like a list of bottom tier teams. I'm just like, when I read the chat, people say this team can win the Super Bowl. I'm like, bro, come on. It's like when I see niggas say the Raiders for years. It was like the Raiders with Derek Carr, Jimmy G, who the fuck that quarterback is. Are you serious? The Browns, the Cardinals, the fucking who else? Who's the team you just said? Jaguars.
Jags, yeah.
Teams like I'm like, come on, bro. Like you know better. The Bears, yeah, no. There's certain teams, nah. The Panthers, no. Saints already sold. They sold for that shit. Drew Brees.
Yeah, that's crazy. That just again, you don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, if this like allegedly, if the quote unquote like script writers are looking at this, I'm like, I don't know if people are gonna buy into those teams winning Super Bowls or being dynasties. So I wouldn't be shocked if Chiefs just. I wouldn't be shocked if the Chiefs are like the '90s Bulls, where like they win a bunch of titles. Then Mahomes like goes on his sunset, whatever, and they don't win anything after that.
They could do something kind of like that, but I still think they max out at 4. But any team that's gonna win it, they gonna have to have the right pieces and shit. That's what people. I don't know why they can't grasp that shit about scripted. There's a difference between scripted and fake. They don't understand it. There's some people don't understand the difference. Like pro wrestling, the shit is scripted, not fake.
Yeah.
Them bumps hurt like a motherfucker. They really got hit by a motherfucking chair. That mat they land on is plywood. That shit ain't got no give to it. That's like laying on a pool table.
Yes,
yeah, that shit hurts like your whole body feel like it was in a car crash.
It was.
Next morning.
It was for sure.
That's when they say dumb shit like the fucking so and so could trade for Kirk Cousins because of this, and I'm like, they don't have the cap space to do that stupid shit you just said.
That's the thing too. Like, I mean, do you think like I don't know you've been paying attention, but do you think someone like Dylan Raiola might be the next guy that might be a face to the NFL because of the whole Mahomes connection?
I think he could possibly have success. I don't know about the face though. Usually, if it's someone they're trying to make the face, they might make some variations to, I guess, separate the two. Like Patrick Mahomes is the face now. He's not like Brady. He's obviously not white. Don't have blue eyes. Ain't married to no supermodel. His wife's a cunt, from what I've seen. It's just they can shift it and stuff.
What about him? Do you think someone like Arch Manning could be a challenger to the throne or something like that?
Oh hell yeah! His last name Manning.
Yeah.
For sure.
And that guy can move too. Like, I mean,
yeah, that's weird as fuck. I ain't never seen a man who can run fast like that. I'm like, this ain't fair. You can't be passing like a man and running like a nigga. That's not right. You need one or the other, man.
Oh my god.
Pick one. You better sit in that goddamn pocket if you're gonna be throwing like that.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I wouldn't be surprised. He might win one in college. Shit.
Have you watched Deadliest Warrior? Spike TV.
Way back in the day, I think I was in high school.
Yeah, they should bring that back, man.
That 1,000 Ways to Die.
Oh my god, it's so funny you mentioned that, bro. It's so funny you mentioned that.
Do you know what I think they came up with this show kind of as a mask for when celebrities die some bullshit, just like validated.
Oh,
but
that's
interesting. Show's going on the egg, so yeah, 1,000 Ways to Die. It's exactly how it happened, type shit.
You might be onto something with that. But if I look, I was thinking about this. This is the last thing I'll say before signing off. But if they were ever to like reboot the Deadliest Warrior show, I think they should probably put it on Netflix because like Spike TV is now defunct. Now it's Paramount TV. They're all showing is Western stuff that is not even that good. They should include fictional characters. Because they kind of dabbled with the whole vampires versus werewolf stuff. But they should, like, go all in on that. And they should actually get the people who play those characters to actually fight. Like, in the kind of, like a scene, like a 5 to 10 minute scene. And actually make it, like, super cinematic. So the episode might be, like, an hour long. But, like, the actual fight would be, like, 10, 15 minutes long. So that'd be really, really cool. So imagine, like... Huh?
I said that'd be badass if they did some shit like that.
Like, imagine if like 11 from Stranger Things were to fight someone like Raven, and you got like Millie Bobby Brown as 11, and let's say Tegan Croft as Raven. Like that would be super super cool. Or you could have got someone like Chris Evans Captain America versus Deathstroke. And he's played by like Joe Manganiello, the guy from Spider-Man 2. He used to bully Peter Parker or something like that.
This shit sound like Mortal Kombat with the DLC.
It does.
That fucking Ghostface fighting Peacemaker and shit.
Yeah.
That'd be dope as hell, though.
It would be dope as hell. And, like, the soundtrack could be, like, made by, like, I don't know. This will never happen, but I always thought, like, if they ever were to make, if I ever were to make, like a Raven movie, I would so love to use some Kanye music as something was one of her themes, like Yeezus, like something like Black Skinhead, like or I Am Not Home. That was the track that was supposed to be on Yeezus, but it was part of this record called Thank God for Drugs. I don't know if you heard of that, but so yeah, it was a pleasure having you. And there's some news I want to say to you and my audience. I secured an interview with Andrew Finkel. He's an NBA, NFL YouTuber.
Yeah, I know you're talking about, yeah.
And I secured an interview with Solar Sands. He's like this art, culture, movie commentator. He has like 1.3 million subscribers. So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
You going to school for, broadcast journalism or something?
Broadcast radio.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. That's what's up.
So, yeah, I really enjoyed having you, and, yeah, maybe we can do this again in the future, so.
Yeah, for sure.
See ya, bro.
All right, man, be easy.
Be easy, bye. And that is the episode of Renegade Podcast, interview with Lobo. I hope everyone enjoyed the content that we said, and this isn't really an endorsement of his views or anything like that, but yeah, so that was a very civil conversation that we just had. So I hope everyone enjoyed the show, enjoyed the podcast, like, subscribe, and have a nice day.